When I cook for my family, I'm all about what's easiest and healthiest. So this is my go-to double portion sourdough bread loaf. Stick around if you want to see how I make this soft and fluffy bread. So I fed my starter the morning before and then the night before I baked. So here it is. I did a float test and it is floating, so ready to bake. I always start by combining my starter and my water first and giving that a stir. And then I add my salt and honey and flour. And I did forget the butter, but you're going to see me add it in a minute. There goes my butter. And I'm going to show you the consistency of how you want your bread dough. You want it to be sticky. So look at my hand. Sticky. That's okay. After combining all ingredients, cover and let it sit 30 to 45 minutes. Doesn't have to be perfect. I wet my hands before my stretch and folds to make it easier so it doesn't stick. So this is how I do my stretch and folds. You can do what works for you. Don't even time these anymore. I just do what works with my day. Sometimes it's 20 minutes later. Sometimes it's an hour later that I stretch and fold it. So after your 3 to 4 stretch and folds, you pretty much just let it sit all day long. I had plans all day, so this was like 9 hours later. You can always refrigerate it to slow down the process and bake it the next day. So I don't measure, I just kind of split it down the middle after I let it fall onto the table. Stretch it out into a rectangular shape. I wet my rolling pin so that my rolling pin doesn't stick to the dough. And fold that into the middle, fold the other side, and just roll it up. And then pinch, just so your bread doesn't fall apart. Pinch the ends, pinch all around. Then I put it into my pan with parchment paper that has been greased. Cover with saran wrap and let it rise again. Again, here I've waited 30 minutes, I've waited 2 hours. Do what works for you. I flour the top, and then I usually just score it once down the middle. I don't do any fancy scoring. But don't skip this next step. So I grabbed some filtered water and put it in my hands. I did this twice, and I just kind of spread it all over, just so the top doesn't burn as it cooks. I set my oven to 450, then I lower it to 400 right when I put them in, and this is the final look. Look at how it comes out with this parchment paper. Boom. I just pulled it out of the pan. I have struggled to get my bread out of the pan. No more. No more. Bake until the internal temperature is around 200 degrees and just check it the last few minutes so it doesn't burn or overcook. Let me know what you guys think.